Hello again, welcome back, and this is now the part 2b. Let's get started. Now we have the AmiBerry compile and update from GitHub. I'm going to go in and I'm going to explain the options. Because PlayBox version 2 has a specific AmiBerry setup, which I have some things hidden, so you can have the old style that goes straight to the game, and you will save about an extra 2 seconds from avoiding the logo and stuff like that. So instead of you manually compiling the latest version, and usually RetroPie has the pre-compiled, the one you update by the binary, but sometimes it's not the latest one, and if you do that, it will update the WSD load and other things. And some people complained that they didn't like this new workbench screen that you see in the beginning of the game, that you can enable cheats and stuff like that. Some they like it, some they don't. Anyway, so instead of, if you want to have the latest code, if you're following up AmiBerry and you want to enable the latest binary from the original GitHub, you can run this. This will compile the AmiBerry to the latest code. We'll put it on, put the latest binary in the emulators folder, have the correct permissions and everything, and have it ready for you. Now, if you prefer the SDL, and some of you work from the Pi 4 SDL, it will just do this and apply this as the main one. If you had, or if this was the x64 Pi, or Pi OS, then it will compile for the Pi 4 the x64. Now, it says that if you have compiled 1 and 2, this is because to swap between. Basically what it does, when you select 1 or 2, automatically will set this as the main one. It will be both there. So the last options 4 and 5, what they do, basically if you compiled, let's say, Pi 4 SDL2, but you don't want that and you want to go and use the Pi 4 that you selected before, you just go to option 4, and that's what will do. It will just apply as your default AmiBerry binary, the one that is for the Pi 4, not the SDL2 version. So let's go back. We don't want to compile AmiBerry right now. Now we have option 8 is the Vulkan Igalia or Igalia driver, and then we have the options. I made the script to install and update all. That means it will install and update if it's not there, but on PlayBox it's there. So basically it will update the driver, the extras, which is probably demos, and the RetroArch custom compile from the latest GitHub code, and enable the Vulkan option into that RetroArch. I tried the 1.9.0 the other day, and I found out that controller on inside the game, actually I was trying to play the 1080, and while the menus work fine and everything with the controller, when I was going down the slope and I wanted to go right and left, for some reason neither my analog nor my D-pad was working to move the player. So anyway, I just left it out, and for those that don't know and haven't read the release notes, which I'm going to make a video and go through that, we have by default I have enabled the RetroArch 1.8.9 custom compile from here, which is this option, and will compile and install into your PlayBox, and have it as default the RetroArch with Vulkan enabled binary, which is the 1.8.9 version on this base. Now, if you just know that you have it installed, and in our case you can run just number 2, that you can update only the Vulkan driver to the latest. Now we have the install update Vulkan demos. It's going to run some demos on the desktop. You have to go to the RPi desktop, RPi OS desktop, to run them. And then we have the last one to clean up the source folders, because they take a lot and especially the demos will end up taking about a total of 3.5 gig of space. So if you run this, it will just clean up these folders and it will take you back here. So we go to, and as code changes, and hopefully soon we're gonna see the official driver merged into the OS, this probably will become obsolete and I will end up removing this from the toolkit, and I can leave just the demos and the RetroArch, and we won't need anymore to have this Vulkan driver compiled anymore from Igalia, which is, as has been told the last week, it was merged to the official Mesa code, and we're gonna have it soon with us. So we'll go back. So we have the Pi keys by Jose Cerejon, or Cerejon, I hope I say his name correctly. I have this disabled at the moment because there's a lot of subscripts in there, and I don't want to use them because I haven't checked most of them where and what they changed, and I don't want to mess out a script have messing any of the structure of Playbox. So I just have it here, and at a certain point, if everything okay, I will enable. Now if you do on your own, you're at your own and on your own, and I'm not gonna support if anything broken from here. So we have a single save directory by RPC8. This is by default enabled, and this is the latest script by RPC that I got from him, and I've just changed. And we have different things, and basically if you go in, you can see I have the enable, and I made another one that says revert single save. So basically we just revert back if you want to have everything as was from RetroPie setup, but that means you're going to have all the saves dropped in your ROMs folder, which is not the nicest thing. So that's why the enable single save is great, and as I said, this is by default enabled on Playbox. Now we go, there's the USB storage benchmark. This is a tool that will run a benchmark of your SD or USB card. Again, safe, we can run it, it doesn't matter, and it will upload the results to the website, and you can go and see where do you stand basis your setup. Now we have the OMX player volume control script, and you can select. This was initially requested by VirtualMan because since we had the latest RetroPie setup, a lot of things changed, and with the new RPi OS and the handling. So the OMX player was very loud, playing the videos plus screens in the beginning, while the music, the background music within AES was lower. So this way you can select the percentage of the volume. I already have set, if I'm very correct, to 75%. VirtualMan, he liked to boost it a little bit up to the 80%. And we have, as I said, to your liking. If you have a TV and it's night and you have it more than 80, it will be too loud when a video plays in the beginning. So then you have all these different, I guess, levels. You can set this is going to be for every reboot. It will affect every reboot. So once you set it, you can forget it. Then 100% is the default, and then 0 is where you mute the whole the total volume. Now the last one, we have the emulator tweaks, which is a sub menu, and here I'm gonna start adding. I have this for the time being, and this is tweaks that have and affect specific setups in Playbox. Now the first one is the Virtual Boy core, and if you have these very cheap red, blue, cyan glasses, Virtual Boy core supports the actual 3D anaglyph display, so you can see even a different and more realistic 3D depth by this blue and cyan. So this is by default enabled on Playbox, and if you want to go back to the original setup of Playbox that you see everything red, you can select this one, and you can see we have disabled the 3D anaglyph that I have on PlayBox, or enable it. So we go back, then we have the Game Boy core, and you can select the original or enhanced Game Boy display options. What it does, basically, you know, Game Boy had a black and white screen. So if you want to have the original thing, you just go and say enable Game Boy original black and white. If you want to have what we have on PlayBox, and I enable this Super Game Boy option emulator, and this is the preferred one from Rick Dangerous, and that's why I have this one. You can go and have this, which gives you a colorful display or more colors on your Game Boy games, the original Game Boy games. That's what this script does. Then we have the PPSPP, the standalone emulator, and you can enable the exit to emulation station, or you can have the button where you select, for example, if you have a PlayStation controller or an Xbox, the back button will take you to the menu, or you select this one and enable exit. That means that you're going to take you back to the emulation station, rather just open up the PPSPP menu. So if you want to disable that exit, and you're going to have, when you press the right thumbs down or the back menu special key, this is the option. That's what it does. Or you're going to go, it's your personal choice to go to the emulator menu, or just go to exit. And I can see a spelling error which I need to fix here. Now the last one is the N64 libretto core, and we have the native resolution, which is low resolution or high res. So I'm gonna go in, and you can see by the native resolution of N64 was 320 by 240, and one of the extra resolutions was the 480i, which is 640 by 480, and this is the one I have by default. And you can see way better, clearer, sharper graphics with the core, the LRMopen 64 core. Now if you think some games run weird, or you want to have the lower resolution, you can select number 1. It will just drop down the resolution 320 by 240 and then you can go also on the RetroArch options and enable for that system, the N64, the smooth option. That looks way nicer than the really pixelized version of 320 by 240. So we go back. This is the tweaks. Any tweaks that I have for the emulators, for example, then we're gonna have here for PPSP and 64. I'm gonna also add the Vulkan options, because both of this core and the PPSP, they support Vulkan. I've tested. I'm not very happy with the current status of the Vulkan driver on Pi 4. There's not a big difference, and actually there are better graphics with OpenGL. So once the official drivers is installed and they're running better after I test, then I can give you this option through the update setup, so you can enable it. Let's go back.